Hi, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and today's interview is a very funny stand-up compared to a not funny stand-up. I always say funny stand-up. I know why I used to do that. You might know him from Mike and Molly. He was on for 6 seasons, 121 episodes. Wow, a lot of syndication there. His new show, second season, is Bob Heart.
Arts.
It's an emoji, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, yep.
And Bishola. My African
Abishola.
is perfect. And he's I know Billy a long time. Let's welcome Billy Gardell, everybody. Billy,
Hey,
welcome
man,
to the
it's
show.
good to be on. Thanks for having me, Ross. I appreciate it.
So
Thanks
I
for
know
coming
you're
on,
a
Billy.
huge Steeler fan. Steelers are 3-0. I have to start with this. 3-0.
3-0.
How happy are you? Did you expect them to be 3-0 this year going into
I did.
2020?
Yeah, I absolutely did. I think obviously getting Ben back is the linchpin. But I knew this team had the potential, and I think this team has the potential to go the distance. And I thought it last year. They won 8 games on defense last year because Duck was terrible, and we just had no quarterback. And what's the other kid, the Cleveland guy hit in the head? I can't remember his name right now. What's the other kid?
Rudolph, Mason Rudolph. I was at that game
Terrible.
in the end zone.
Terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible, but that was a horrible event.
Well, that was, yeah, but I'm just saying both quarterbacks terrible, yet they won 8 games. And I really credit a lot of that to that defensive line has become very quick and very dangerous. But Fitzpatrick, Minka Fitzpatrick has been the difference. Anybody who murdered us every year, especially Brady, would just saw a hole in us in the middle of the field. Remember, Brady would come and say, I love zone defense. And we come out and play zone, and there's always that giant hole in the middle of the field. Minka has completely taken that away. And that's made everybody else's position become more viable. And there's not so much robbing Peter to pay Paul. People can stay at home. And they are playing fast and rough and traditional Steeler football. So I knew we had a real good shot to make some noise this year.
The only problem you guys have in the AFC is you guys have two problems. You have the Kansas City Chiefs,
Yep.
who look unbeatable, as you know,
And the Cleveland Browns. Oh, I'm kidding.
No, we're not. And the Baltimore Ravens.
So new at winning, it's cute. You know?
Well, they are 3-1.
It is.
They are 3-1, and it's unbelievable.
I think that team's pretty real this year too. I do.
And we'll see.
I think with Burrow coming and the way Baltimore is, I think that AFC North is no joke. And I think in the next
We have the best division in football. I think. Well, actually, the NFC West is also very tough.
You're right, but I would say in the AFC that's a tough division right now.
So Billy, tell us about. I know you just started production again. I'm curious because I was in TV my whole life. How different is it now filming a show with the COVID going on?
It's the protocols are there, and
what's that mean?
So what I mean is, like, you have to take like a screening test on your phone. You take your temperature, you say yes or no whether you've had any symptoms. You say have you been in contact with anybody, and you're kind of on the honor system for that part of it. Then once that goes green, you can show that to the guard with your ID at the lot. Then they let you on the lot. Now, once you get to the lot, you have to put a mask on, which I think is wonderful because that's what saves lives. And masks are about thinking about other people. The mask won't save your life. It'll save somebody else. But if we're all in kind, then guess what? We're going to get better. So that protects us at one level. Then we do a rapid test. As soon as we get there, you go to your dressing room or your trailer and you wait until you get your results. If your results are negative, then you're allowed to go onto the stage. Now, on the stage, they've pared everybody down. So, like, there's a pod of props, there's a pod of electricians, there's a pod of stand-ins, there's a pod of actors. And so it keeps the number at a minimum. And then when you rehearse with your mask on. The only time you'll take it off is right before they yell action. And the other actor has had to have tested negative as well. And then you do your scene and then you put your mask back on. Now there's no audience, obviously, and there's not that loose vibe of trying to create comedy. So you have to really rely on your chops, but that comes with trust in each other. And it's been, all the cameramen are in masks, everybody's in masks. So we're coming into this place where it's slower and it's more methodical, but we have put up 2 good episodes, and I'm very proud of that. So
I'm excited to see the new season.
We're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay.
I'm excited. November is the premiere month. They haven't given you guys an exact date.
No, we don't have a date yet. They're even talking about waiting until January with us because they like to get 4 or 5 in the can before they premiere, as you know. So we'll wait and see where we're at after we
get
this one tape.
And I know you're, very funny stand-up, as I mentioned. Are you?
That was all right.
Are you itching to go back on the road at all doing stand-up?
Man, I like it. I still respect stand-up more than anything because it gave me every opportunity I ever got. And I always wanted to be great at it. I always felt like I was like one molecule off from being a great comic. You know what I mean? Just
one chromosome away.
Yeah, but I thought I did a good job. I still enjoy it. I was getting a little bit burnout, and I think that just comes from, in Rocky III, there's a great scene where Stallone is sitting there talking to Burgess Meredith, and he says, "You mean those fights were setups?" And Meredith tells him, he says, "The worst thing in the world that could happen to a fighter happened to you. You got civilized." And I think that applies. I mean, I've been on TV for a long time, and you just get a little softer. You don't have that edge of going out to want to do it every single night. At least for me, that happened. And then, my kid's 17. He's getting ready to go off to college. I didn't want to be on the road, but I will say this. Since the quarantine has happened, I started writing in my notebook again. And I think I'm coming into the idea of a new hour of stand-up, which I'd like to go. So it's kind of inspired me. So I'd like to go back to it. I don't think I could ever give it up completely, but I definitely am at the place in my life where I'd like to pare back on it. I'm at the point now where I miss it enough. I'd like to get out and do a gig or two,
No,
I
admire
think that the pandemic.
Some of these guys are going to parking lots and drive-ins, and that's the kind of balls and guts you got to have to be a real good comic, man. That really is.
Well, start honking. It's funny.
I never did it, but I can. I'm a therapist, so I'm in front of people all the time, and I know what that's like. I don't do comedy in there because that's not a good idea. But you
look at somebody. Ha ha! You can't do that.
That was really funny.
Fantasy football, Billy.
Yes.
Are you a fan of it? Do you play fantasy football? What's your history with our sport?
5 years ago, I think I was in 4 leagues, and it was starting to feel like a part-time job. So what I did was I dropped all my leagues but one. I was on a sitcom years and years ago called Yes Dear with Mike O'Malley and Anthony Clark and my friend Greg Garcia.
Oh yeah, I like that show.
Producer. Yeah. And we started one there. I guess it's 17 years now, and we've been in that. So that's the one that I stay with every year, and it's really fun because it's the same guys and we've been together. It's the only time in the year really we get to talk to each other, so it's kind of nice.
So who's on your team this year? I'm curious.
I got a good fantasy squad. In fact, hang on.
We'll analyze it for you, Dan. Do your stuff.
I'll tell you ahead of time. I'm a little weak in the receiver department, but I drafted in a different way.
You have to tell me what size league it is for me to size
12 guys.
All right, 12 team. Got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it PPR?
It's yes, which means there isn't shit on the waiver wire every week. That's what 12
I know. That's right.
You get some
deep
guy
benches.
Like Bob Fribber from Kansas.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff Smith from the Jets.
Yeah.
Listen, I just bid $61 on D'Ernest Johnson in my dynasty league, so I know what you're talking about.
That's great. All right, here's my squad. At quarterback, starting quarterback, we got Russell Wilson.
Okay, he's MVP.
Oh, that's pretty good.
What a tremendous joy it is to watch this guy play. He's at that place now that great quarterbacks get to where their intellect for the game matches their athletic ability. When those two things kind of come together, he's there because he's the funnest guy to watch play football. I mean, he's just amazing, man. And it's good because when everybody else is sucking, he'll put up 39 points to kind of pull me out of the fire. I got Cook from Minnesota as my running back, who's very solid.
Stays healthy. He's good. Go on.
He's going to be fine. I got Singletary from Buffalo, who I like a lot. I also, in the backfield, and I rotate this according to matchup, but I got Sanders from Philadelphia, who I think is going to keep digging.
But he plays a tough team this weekend. Have you the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, he's on the bench. He's playing the Steelers.
Okay, good. I was going to tell you.
And then I got
bench him immediately.
My wide receivers, I got Diggs from Buffalo, and I actually picked up C.D. Lamb from Dallas.
Great pickup.
I'm really hoping that he'll continue. Andrews is my tight end from Baltimore, although
2 touchdowns last week. Great.
He's questionable this week, so we'll see. Boswell's my kicker. That's my homer pick.
Of course.
And I got the Chiefs defense. And on the bench, I got Bridgewater, like I said, Sanders. I got Edmonds out in Arizona just for a bye week patch.
Good one.
I got Mike Gallup as well, and Schultz is my backup tight end. And I got another homer pick. I just have a feeling about this guy, and he may be able to help me down the stretch. But I took Claypool from the Steelers.
I like Claypool too. He's from Notre Dame.
Ross
He's
has
great
talked
at
about
Notre
him.
Dame, and I think there's something.
I like him too.
I also
your receiver Johnson's healthy this week too, and he's coming back.
Right.
And I love him this week too. If you have him, start him.
Good.
Wait, Billy, you said you picked up CeeDee Lamb. Do you mean you picked him up off the wire?
Oh no! I mean, when I drafted him,
late
I
in
had
the draft.
No idea
There,
who-
okay,
I had
good. I just wanted
no idea who he was. That was like 14th round pick, and I got him, and I was like,
That
what
is
a
a
treat
great
that was.
14th
Like,
round
I
pick.
actually got really lucky. People just looked him over. I guess they didn't know who he was. We're getting old. I remember when I was younger, I knew everybody's name, everybody's stat, where they went to school, how they played. But now I'm like, who? Who is that?
Well,
What's that guy?
The average NFL player, I think, plays like 2.3 years or something. So
Right.
it's very hard to keep up.
Right.
All right, I wanted to ask
knew
you.
those. Go ahead.
I want to ask you. I'm gonna pit you against Ross in a challenge. If that's okay with you.
Sure.
We're gonna pick some games against the spread.
I love it.
And okay, we're gonna start with the Sunday night game. It's Minnesota at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 7.5 points.
Seattle.
Well, you got to give a little you got to give a little explanation why.
I'll give you an
Just don't
explanation.
say. There you go.
I honestly, I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins, and if he gets down 10 points, it's over. I just don't. He doesn't do it for me. I don't think he's ever been consistent enough to be considered a great quarterback. I think he gets the job done. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Kurt, if you're watching this, but he just doesn't do it. And Russell Wilson is peaking right now. And yes, there's not a lot of defense on Seattle, but it seems to me like every time Russell Wilson touches the ball, they score. So I would take.
Yeah, you got to hope they don't fall behind because you got cooked.
I would take the Seahawks and give the 7.5.
You know what? I'll go against you. I'll take Minnesota. I like Cook. Right. I love their new receiver. They have
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, the kid from LSU.
Even though Billy, Ross and I had a whole argument about Justin Jefferson. I was the one who was touting him.
I love Justin Jefferson. I think that I don't know if they'll win the game, but it'll be a 3-point game, Billy. I think I got you on that
one.
All right,
well, let's see.
Okay, what's the next game?
Let's go to Monday night. We got the LA Chargers. I'm wanting to call them San Diego.
We all do.
Speaking of not being able to keep up, LA Chargers at New Orleans. Did we get that spread? I didn't get this. No, I did. Nope, I didn't get it. I don't know what the spread is. I'm gonna look it up. You guys start talking.
I might have it actually. Let me see.
I bet it's 9. I bet it's 9 points.
I think it might be higher.
Thanks, Andrew.
7.5 points.
Okay, so 7.5 points. I'll go first. I think Breeze's career is going down. I don't think the arm strength's there anymore. They just announced today that the Chargers quarterback is Herbert is going to be the starter for the rest of the year. I know their starting running back is hurt, but I love Joshua Kelly. I love Justin Jackson as the backup also. I'm taking the Chargers and the points.
And I agree with you. And I like on the defensive side of the ball, you got Bosa leading those guys. And that kid Herbert, man, when he came in and played against Kansas City, he either was unaware of who he was playing or this kid is just a baller. And I think he's kind of shown that's who he is. He's cool as he can be back there. He's got a great rocket laser arm. And the more he gets this, the better he's going to be. I think it's a wise choice. I agree with you with Breeze, too. I think Breeze is getting a little long in the tooth.
I do, too.
I was all over Herbert at the beginning of the season, and I let somebody talk me out of it.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the last game?
All right, last game, of course, we would be remiss to talk with Billy Gardell and not talk about the Pittsburgh game. Philadelphia at Pittsburgh. We got the Steelers favored by 7.
Okay, this is hard for me, but I'm just going to be honest. Okay, this is why I don't bet my Steelers. I just like to enjoy them. I don't bet them. But here's what I know about my Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to win, and it's going to be by 2 or 3. Okay, and I'll tell you why. It's the Battle of Pennsylvania, which means we're playing whose dirt is better. That's what we're playing. My dirt is better than your dirt, and that's prideful in Pennsylvania. But here's the thing about the Steelers, and it's been this way since I was a tiny kid in Steelers pajamas. We play to the level of the squad that we're playing. So if we're playing an 0-3 team, we look like we're 0-3 and we win by a field goal. If we're playing a 12-1 team, we play like we're 12-1. We might win by 4 or 5. I don't like us to cover 7 points, but I refuse to say I picked Philadelphia.
Ross the boss is taking the Steelers. The Eagles defense is knocked up. There's 2 starting linebackers not playing.
I hope
The
you're right.
Steelers had almost 2 weeks to prepare for this game. They didn't play last week, as we all know. I feel the Steelers are going to roll. Their running game's just going to destroy the Eagles.
I think they're going to win. I don't know about
I think
the score.
Roethlisberger is going to have 3 touchdowns and 320 yards. That's my prediction.
This is all good, but you said the Eagles defense is knocked up, and
They're
so
knocked
I
up.
need to note that.
They're
I
knocked
need
up.
to note it. I mean, if the
They're-
Eagles defense is
they
pregnant,
are-
they're going to lose.
They are hurt. The linebackers, their starting linebackers are not starting. I don't think. It doesn't look good. And I feel at home, Pittsburgh's just going to roll they're going to roll the Eagles. The Eagles
tell
are
you-
awful this year. Wentz looks awful.
But here's why. Wentz doesn't know those receivers. And I got to tell you, last week, I think he built some trust with them because he put some balls out there and they came through for him. I think as he gets to know them, they're going to get better. My Steelers will win that game. I just don't trust them to cover.
Yeah, but your DBs the Steelers DBs are probably one of the best in the business. I mean,
They're getting there.
those guys are good, and I see Wentz at least throwing 2 or 3 picks. We'll see what happens, Billy. We'll keep track of this.
right,
This
good.
is kind of fun to do with you. Maybe we'll do it more regularly. It
I'd
could be
love
kind
to
of
come
fun.
back. Let me know, man.
Yeah, we will.
Let's
It's kind of
do it.
fun because
Pick
I love
three.
somebody who knows football, and it's hard
Love
to
it.
it's hard to find somebody in your
Well, you're
stature.
in Los Angeles.
Football. No kidding. But Billy, thanks for being a great guest. We'll have him
Oh,
on
you're
again.
the best, Ross. It's great to see you. Thank
Tell
you
the
again
family
for
I said
my time.
hello.
Terry Bradshaw Ball. I want to bring that up and say thank
Oh,
you.
we'll show it next time.
And
Oh,
Dave,
yeah.
nice to meet you. And my manager's from Cleveland, and twice a year we have tortured each other so much during those games that if one team scores, it's just that you ring the phone one time. That way we don't get in a fight.
and you
Just
know-
ring the phone one time. That's it.
I know, and now I know why we sometimes are in games with the Steelers because they're playing down to our level. Because I
Is
always
that
look at
what
the
it is?
schedule and I know I'm like, why is the Browns schedule so hard? It's because we never play the Browns.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say that.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming on, Billy.
You got it, guys. Have a great day, man. Great
You
seeing
too.
you guys. Be well.
Thanks.